Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear learners, welcome to my session. This is Mohammad Jahid Hassan, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Kumilla, Victoria Government College. So today, I would like to discuss a poem written by William Blake. The title of the poem is London. So this poem belongs to Songs of Experience, written by William Blake. So let's get into it. If you minutely go through the poem, you'll find that the very title, London. So this title denotes a particular city. It has a geographical area. It denotes a particular geographical area. Other poems of Songs of Innocence, especially, the settings are rural and pastoral. But here, the settings is in a city and a specific area. So this is the specialty of this poem, mentionable specialty, but there are other things to be discussed here. So let's cope with the text. If you have the text with you, you can follow me. I wander through each chartered street near where the chartered Thames does flow, and mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, marks of awe. In every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every band, the mind forced manacles I hear. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening church appalls, and the hapless soldier's sigh runs in blood down palace walls. But most through midnight streets I hear how the youthful harlot's carts blast the newborn infant's tear, and blights with plagues the Mary's hearts. So this is the poem, and these are the lines written in this poem. So you see there are 4 quatrains in this poem, and the very striking note of this poem is repetition and thirding. Okay, so these are the 2 qualities, thirding and repetition. This thirding and repetition give the poet a special attraction. So first stanza, he says, I wander through each chartered street. Here a speaker is wandering on the streets of London city, and he described that every street is chartered, everything of the city is chartered, because in a city everything is regulated by authority. And charter has 2 meanings. One is to hire something, and another is to found something by a legislation of a particular authority or a country, and by which by this charter of grant the entity is established and enjoys its benefits and privileges from the authority or the government. So that is charter. 2 meanings. See here Blake says every corner of this world, every particles is chartered. That means well controlled by authority. Near where the chartered Thames does flow, even the river Thames, the London city stands on the river Thames. Even this river is also chartered, is well controlled by the authority. Mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, marks of awe. But everything, every particles, every persons on the streets I meet, there I see the reflection of sorrows and sufferings and awe. They are unhappy. Their body language, their face reflects and radiates unhappiness. So why? Because the city is a dismal city. Rabindranath Tagore describes London city is a dismal city. Everybody is elbowing, everybody is busy, everybody is bumping each other. So there is some sort of unhappiness prevailing in the air. Even T.S. Eliot in his The Wasteland describes London city, especially the London Bridge. People walking on the London Bridge, the people, they are living in dead. They are walking with the dead body. That means outwardly they are they are alive, but inwardly they are dead. They don't have any sense, they don't have any compassion to each other, they don't have fellow feelings, they are just busy, they are leading a busy life. So that is London city, the most crowded, one of the most crowded cities in this world. In every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every band, the mind-forced manacles are here. So people are crying, infants are crying, and every voice in every band, the mind-forced manacle are here. So these manacles, people are in chains, people are in chain of busyness, people are leading a life of slaves because of their aspirations, because of their longing for the mechanical life. So these things are created by the people, not by the God. So this is manacles, man-made manacles. Manacles mean shackles, chains. So they are unchained by their own shackles, own manacles, and they have created that shackles and manacles for themselves. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening charts apples, and the hapless soldier sigh, runs in blood down palace walls. So the chimney sweepers. So every chimneys, where there are chimneys, where there are regular industrial revolution, there are chimneys. These chimneys have to be cleaned by the chimney sweepers. So thousands of chimney sweepers. At that time, people would see that they were wandering and crying, sweep, sweep, sweep. So this cry of the chimney sweepers reflect suffering, exploitation. They are being exploited by the industry owners of that time. Every blackening charts apples. So charts have been blackened by this industrial revolution, and the fumes coming out from the chimneys, the fumes of the sufferings of the workers, the fumes of the sufferings of the chimney sweepers. So a lot of peoples involved in the revolution, industrial revolutions over there. And the hapless soldiers side, the soldiers in London, I mean under the king's brigade, they tend to suffer because they had to fight for the country unknowingly. They don't even know why they are fighting for. They are just have to abide by the rules and regulations, directions and commands of the generals. So their agonies also reflect on the palace wall. So the sufferings, sacrifice of the soldier, their bloodshed also flow through the London streets, and it just ends against the walls of the royal palaces from where they are commanded specially. But most through midnight street I hear how the youthful harlots curse. The London city was full of harlots because young people, they are from the poor families, young girls are from the poor families, and they had to sell their youth because of their livelihood. So these young girls, they were supposed to be married to a person they love, but they had to sell their sex over the streets, and they're cursing the government, they're cursing the church of the kingship, everything. But Blake at the first stanza says that the second stanza says that these manacle, the sufferings are made by people themselves, but some sort of sufferings are created by the authorities also. So harlots, I mean the prostitutes, curses the cities dwellers because of their sufferings, their authorities and the royal families because of the sufferings. The suffering blasts the newborn infant's tear, and new babies are born out of marital relationship and extramarital relationship. So these babies, Bacon ends the poem with the birth of a baby. So new birth of a baby means the new starts of suffering, new cycle of suffering. So how rhythmically he ends the poem. So blasts the newborn infant's tear and blights with plagues the marriage shears. So marriage beds are like the coffin where newborns are born and they bring in destruction and suffering to the world. This they creates another cycle of suffering. In this way, human sufferings continue. People tend to live illegally. People are over ambitious. That is why sufferings were created, and a new baby is born with these sufferings, and ultimately a new cycle of suffering is created. This is called vicious cycle of suffering. So this baby is to blights, the curses the marriage bed, their father's mother to give them life. So these are the sorry story of the dwellers of the London city. Blake depicts a very sorry picture, very gloomy picture of the London city. People are unhappy. People are suffering from different kinds of mental and physical maladies. People are suffering from social maladies. People are suffering for relation-based maladies. So people are at the end of the day are unhappy, and their life is full of sufferings and afflictions. And Blake says that these sufferings are created by the people themselves because of their high ambitions, because of their longing for the life of exuberance and luxury. So these are all of the insights from this poem. In the next class, I will discuss the lines in details, and I will dive into the abyss of these sufferings, how sufferings are created, and what the critic says, and what critic says about the Blake's description and the ins and outs of the poems in details. So till then, stay well, stay blessed. Allah Hafiz. It is late night. It is getting late. So pardon my drowsiness. Allah Hafiz.